You're listening to the One Step Deeper podcast with your host, Jimmy Moore and Brittany Davis. OneStepDeeperPodcast.com.
You know the music I like. It's weird.
Well, you could probably have the same opinion about the music that I listen to. It's probably weird to you, so.
I am an older white boy that loves rap music. I'm sorry, not sorry. So.
And I'm a white gal who loves heavy metal. I mean, I don't know.
No, take heavy metal to the nth degree and make it death metal. It's interesting. I've listened just because you're my friend to try to understand why you like this shit, and I just haven't figured it out yet. So.
It's really good for when I'm in the gym and I'm like, I need to be pumped up. I need to be raw,
No, look, like Five Finger Death Punch is your favorite band, and so I like when they actually sing. It's when they growl that they've lost me. I don't understand the. I was like, what are you saying there? Like I guess I need to pull out the lyrics and look at what this means right there. Anywho, hello, welcome back to the show. And so we've got a really cool topic today because everybody knows Brittany is the personal development lady. You've made no bones about all the things you did when you threw away everything 3.5 years ago, started all over and started this journey of personal development. And a lot of your personal development was mindset stuff. A lot of what we do here on this show is mindset. But today we're going to add in a little wrinkle in episode 41 because it's easy to get caught up thinking personal development only is mindset things. But actually your physical health matters in this too. And just so happens both of us are on a journey. You're towards the end of yours. I'm sort of kind of in the beginning of mine, that we're working on our physical health as part of an extension of this work we do on this show here of personal development.
Yeah, I mean, and both of us got to a place in personal development where we couldn't ignore this factor anymore. It had become very clear to both of us. We had conversations before you started your thing, before I think I'll do 75 hard, before I started mine, where we were like, okay, it's time. And I loved that we both kind of reached that point at the same time, because our journeys have been very similar with our mindset and where we've gone in our mind and personal development in that way. And even, career path, just all the things were just kind of lined up. And we just happened to do one of our off the air talks one day where we were both talking about 75 hard or something similar. And we were just like, it's the time. It's time to face this physical point, because as much as I would love to say, yeah, you can work on your mental health and just sit on the couch and eat Doritos the whole time, sweet chili Doritos. I mean, I would love for it to work out that way, but it doesn't. And physical health absolutely is vital for personal development.
Yes, and I can't wait to dive deep into this one because we both have a lot to say today, you guys. OneStepDeeperPodcast.com is the website. Go check us out. See all the past episodes there. We embed the video and the audio right there at OneStepDeeperPodcast.com, or just go to LLVLC.com, and there's a little drop-down menu of all of my podcasts and One Step Deeper, and you'll see the latest and the past episodes there. We do debut these on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time over on YouTube. So again, type in a keyword search, One Step Deeper. You will find the show. I try to get those up a few days before so you can reserve your spot. So thank you to everybody who's watching on YouTube and watching on the replay. You can watch it there. We also throw it up on IGTV as well as Facebook. So again, imagine that. Go look up One Step Deeper on those platforms. You will find us in both of those platforms. We're also a traditional podcast that airs on Mondays. So go listen, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, and Alexa. So many ways to listen now to the show. Go check us out. We really appreciate it. And then finally, go leave us a review, especially on Apple Podcasts. It really helps helps people find us, basically, because they're like, I need a personal development, like mindset kind of podcast. And if all they see is, you're the GOAT, because that's literally the only review we have right now is, you're the GOAT, which is very sweet, but it's one review. So we need like 100 reviews. That would be wonderful. But thank you guys for being here today. But yes, this whole idea of a physical health going into the equation of personal development, it just makes sense. Like, you can't preach that you want to be healthy here if your body isn't healthy. And look, you went through a pretty traumatic thing last year, and we've talked till we're blue in the face about what happened. No sense in recreating it. We're coming up on 2 years since that happened in a few months here. And so you were in no shape last year to be doing this kind of thing that you're doing now. So you're right, what you said earlier of the timing just worked out perfectly, and it was very perfect for you. And in the midst of this, you've been able to see how resilient you could be in the midst of a journey with all these things being thrown at you. Like I've had a few in my journey so far, but you've had some major stuff like towards the end of this. Whereas for me, the last couple of years have been pretty hellacious for me, dealing with a lot of my childhood trauma things and then personal issues in my own life. And now I'm in the right mindset. So it is kind of fun that we're both at that point mentally that we're ready to take that physical journey.
Yeah, and I think for me, mentally, I was ready before I was physically ready. That definitely plays a part here in a lot of my frustrations that I've had. But yes, physically, I was finally at a point where the physical and the mental just kind of met together of, okay, I'm never going to be ready unless I try. You know, I convinced myself I wasn't physically able to do 75 hard because all the things that it had entailed. And that was a mental barrier that I had to break through. But I also had to push myself physically in order to see where I was going to go. And like, today's day 66. Like, I have 9 days left. I'm probably a little shiny because, I'm glowing. I just feel like yes.
By the time this airs, you would be done. You'll be on vacation with your wild man.
I'm so excited. I'm buzzing, really. But what I've learned is when I accepted that the physical, I tried to do it all in my mind, and it took me a long way. But it wasn't until, and you pointed it out when you were talking about it, on this journey, I've had this thing come up, that thing come up, sickness, back pain, this family thing, that thing, refrigerator breaking. Like, I could keep going. My daughter called 911. Like, I could just keep going at all the things.
10 o'clock at night, still had not gotten in your second workout, and you still needed another, like a bit of the water to hit your, and you're like, no, I'm undeterred, because I've been doing a lot of like updates myself during my journey. And again, I'm only 21 days into my 100 days. So I feel like I'm just kind of still just getting started at it. But like what's that?
I was going to say 1/4, but it's 1/5 of the way there.
Yeah, 1/5 of the way. 3 weeks. It's all good. I'm just riding it. It's fun. But like, so much of the journey is this, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know I won't quit. And when people start something and it starts to get a little hard, like it has for you, and not just a little hard, you've had some major stuff in family, your immediate family, and then your extended family, and then you and pain in the back, which, by the way, how is the back pain going?
Did you see me pull out my meeting when we started? It really only bothers me when I sit for an extended period of time. And then when I do sit and I have to sit to do a podcast, I usually pull out the heating pad because it just keeps things fluid and moving and warm. As long as I keep the muscles warm, they don't kind of lock up. But other than that, I'm doing a lot better.
And so you had those limitations going on, which ironically, so did I, because I tried flipping the tire 2 days before I started my journey, and it messed up my back, which, by the way, my back is almost all the way better. The chiropractor yesterday said, all right, you can start doing air squats and a little bit of weights with squats. So you can like work on that motion of lifting the tire. I don't want you to lift the tire just yet. I want you to kind of strengthen the back a little bit before you do that. So so this physical health is thing. Like, I think you and I are pretty damn strong mentally. We both have our moments. We both hear each other in those moments. So it's not like we haven't heard ourselves weak mentally. But for the most part, I think we both have dialed in. I mean, that's what this show is. It's a testament to kind of what we've learned in our own journeys. And now we're trying to encourage other people in their journey, their mental journey. But what we came to the conclusion of is the physical health kind of contributes to that. The moment that we try to separate physical from mental is the moment we're going to fail at both of them. And I feel like so many people put a lot of emphasis on one or the other, a lot of people on the physical, but they don't work on the mental. And then they wonder why they always fall back and always kind of down on themselves. You got to dial in both. And if I had to put a priority, I'm really glad I worked on the mental aspect first, because now when this adversity hits, Miss Brittany, what do you go to? You go to your mantras of, all right, I'm going to feel the feels. Okay, this sucks. I'm feeling it in the mind. You're doing all that work. Whereas if you're pushing physically, but your mental is just going crazy on you, eventually the mental is going to supersede it.
Yes, I love that you point this out, and it's worth saying. So my personal development journey started with physical health. Like, it's just done this whole loop to loop back to where I am. So, 3 years ago, gosh, almost 4 years ago now, I started with keto, and I lost 70 pounds, and I got to the end of it, and I only worked on my physical body. There was very little mental. I mean, doing it, you get a little bit of that mental toughness.
A little bit,
but and that confidence that kind of comes along with making your body change and kind of achieving some goals. There was a little bit of that mental health that was going on there. But I got to the end of my journey and I fell apart. I was like, I reached my goal. Now what do I do? What do I do now? I don't know what to do now. And I kind of fumbled for a couple of months. And that's when I really got into personal development of my mind, because I got to the end of my journey. I was like, wait a minute. I'm still sad. I'm still depressed. I still don't like myself. What am I doing here? And so it was like all this weight loss was what I thought was going to get me this confidence, but it wasn't. It wasn't about the number on the scale or what pant size I wore. It was about what was going on up here and all that past trauma, that past hurt. And so I just shifted 100% the other way. And I just worked on this. And it just so happened that, universe, life, whatever you want to call it, it gave me you don't have a choice but to lay on your back and heal. And so then there was so much mental stuff. And then, like I said, as I've recovered, I've gone back to that physical part of it. But this time, it's that beautiful marriage of both of them, because I realized it's not just about physical health. It's not just about mental health. It's this beauty of it being connected. And I wrote it down because I wanted to remember to say this. So before I started 75 Hard, right before I started, I got the diagnosis of ADHD. It wasn't a blow. I wasn't sad about it. If anything, I was really excited about it because it made so much sense. But one of the things I was like, well, how am I going, now that I know that I have this task problem where if I don't want to do the task, I won't do the task. What do I do about that? And so many people say, oh, exercise. And like people in the ADHD community hate when people say that. But as somebody who has the diagnosis and who has started working on her physical health, it has translated into my mental health so much so that there is no task that I don't just do, even if I don't want to do it. I just have this thing now that I've developed, the mental toughness through physical fitness. I'm just going to do the thing. If it's hard or not, I'm just going to do the thing. And so, like I said, they just go together.
Well, and what's amazing is we have research, we have lots of information that tells us all the mental health benefits of exercise. So it's not like moving your body and not just even exercise, just anything, meditation, all these biohacks that I'm doing, for example, the red light therapy, the grounding with the sunshine, although it's very rainy here in South Carolina today. All the things, like all of these things add to physical impact that has a mental health kind of side effect. I'm usually pretty happy all the time. I don't really get too down about things, and I'm usually pretty cheerful and positive, especially early in the morning. Pisses off Brittany because she's not a morning person, whereas I'm kind of.
But I'm a quiet morning person.
Yeah.
I'm a reflective, let me be in my own space morning person.
But you're not a, hey, how you doing today, Jim? Nice to talk to you. No, none of that. We have had some early morning discussions at times, and hi, Jimmy. Hi. I was like, oh, Hi, Brittany. How are you?
Oh, goodness.
Keto can be hard. Tabulating, measuring, baking, taking 3 months to perfect one recipe, and to mixed reviews.
Did something die in here? Oh, I think it moved.
And by that point, you give up your diet, find a dark corner, and stuff yourself with sugar, carbs, and regret.
This, isn't what it looks like.
Well, this is where Keto Chow saves the day. The easiest, tastiest, ketoist meal replacement on the market.
It's like ice cream melted in my mouth.
Yes, but melted ice cream with all the protein, nutrients, vitamins, and electrolytes your body needs.
Oh, that's cool.
And with 3 starter kits, each with restaurant tips, keto food guides, and a ton of flavors to try, your taste buds and your waistline will thank you.
Thank you.
So grab your starter kit today at jimmylovesketochow.com.
It's so easy.
Keto Chow. Make keto easy.
We always want to put those things in a box. And guys, listen, lean in. Listen, guys. Work on your mental health. That's what One Step Deeper podcast is all about. We're trying to get you to understand that if you get this right, everything else really does fall into place. Like, yes, your physical health is a part of the personal development, but I would even say your relationship development is a part of your personal development. What you and I have as friends and what I'm cultivating with other people in my life and you in your life, that's important as well. It's not just all about just internally you. Yes, get you right, get you internally right mentally, but build the physical health, build the relationship health. Just go across the spectrum of your life and realize that all of it is a part of that journey, that it's not just, okay, well, let me get my mind right. Okay, I've gone through personal development. No, it's all of it, and you're the first probably to say, yeah, I feel better. Like the pictures that you posted of the changes that have happened, like that's so encouraging for you to like want to keep this going on, and you're going to take a few weeks off. You're going to get right back on it right after your Halloween party. Like you've got a plan, and I love it. I've known you a long time now, a few years now, and I can tell when you get excited about something, there's a twinkle in your eye. I know you're going to succeed. And like, that's infectious to me very early on in my journey to see that in my best friend. And now knowing that I'll be able to have that, I try to exude that same kind of positivity myself, even though I'm just starting, but I've seen results already as well, enough to say, okay, good things are happening. Not real fast, which is okay, cool, but they're happening at the pace they need to go. And you just pace yourself with that physical change that you're making.
It's so important that you say that because it's been one of my major frustrations, and I'm tiptoeing around maybe doing something. We'll see how it goes. But I have been 100% frustrated with the scale the entire time. Frustrated. So much frustration. I finally was like, why am I letting this thing control me? So when we're talking about physical health matters, please stop just measuring your physical health by what the freaking scale says. Please stop doing that. I'm telling this to myself here. I've been frustrated because I am on day 66 and I've lost 10 pounds.
I want you to brag about your butt, because that's the thing that you were like, okay, I'm not seeing the weight loss I want because it's all going to my rear.
It really is, guys. Like the change, when I took a picture, I think it was yesterday, and I compared them, I was like, oh, okay, there's where all my weight went. Okay, we're just redistributing here, and I'm okay with that. But like, that's the point. Take measurement. When you're doing, and also I wanted to point out, yes, we're talking about 75 hard, we're talking about exercising, we're talking about moving your body, but physical health is like a long list of things. We're talking about sleep. We're talking about eating whatever diet fuels your body the best. And listen, Jimmy and I have very different approaches to how we fuel our bodies. And I think that's okay. Jimmy does what works best for him. And I have found something that is working amazing for me. And so that's a level of it. Supplements when you can. There are certain supplements that I take that keep me healthy. I like taking supplements. I don't like taking a bunch of supplements. I like to focus in on food. We're talking about medications if you need them. Those are important. If you have something that you need to control, maybe you do have a mental health diagnosis, take a medication. It's not a bad thing. It's part of your physical health to keep your physical body and your mind healthy. Grounding outside, some of the things that you're doing, meditation, hanging out with other people who are healthy. Like, this is all part of that physical health. It's not just go to the
I went to a conference over the weekend, the biohacking conference. And by the time this airs, that was a few weeks ago, but still, it was amazing because number one, I've been like by myself here at my property for a long time. Really haven't gotten to go to a lot of conferences, no conferences, since August 2019. So September 2021 is the first conference I've been to in over 2 years. And it was glorious for no other reason than to just be around people, getting hugs again. Like, you want to talk about physical health being a part of your personal development journey? If you're not getting hugs, like, I forget how valuable they are until I get one.
Yeah.
And people like my hugs. I hug well, although Brittany does not, because Brittany does not like hugs. Even though I'm her best friend, she lets me do it because I'm her best friend, but I can tell you're not happy with it. So I try not to linger too long, but I do like to hug. But I got a bunch of those, and it was just like, that does a lot for this. So much for that. And I came back from that exhausted from any conference you always go to. You went to KetoCon a few years ago. You know, you're exhausted when you get back, but then you're just like, I got to be around people. I got to do a part of physical health that we don't see as important. We know about lifting weights and walking, but we don't think about connection with people, hugging, having conversations, eye-to-eye contact. Like, all of that is just as good a part of your personal development journey and your physical health as weightlifting and walking.
I love what we're doing here. This is what we do on this show every single week. I love what we're doing because it's taking a different path than I thought it would. But I love that, Wildman and I are about to celebrate 10 years together, and we have been texting almost every day how much we miss each other. Yes, physically we've seen each other, but it's not the same when all of this is going on. And when we say we miss each other, we mean we miss that connection.
Yeah.
And there's so much missing when I don't get that individual connection time with him. And that's part of my physical health. And when I don't get that physical time with him, that individual time with him, it starts doing something up here, and it starts to deteriorate. And like, even in relationships, that's why when in a relationship, it's so important to be on the same page, because I can tell him, okay, I miss you. And he knows what that means. It doesn't just mean, hey, sit next to me on the couch. It means so much more, and we understand that, and there's a connection there. So physical health, connection with other people, other humans, you as my friend, if it's been a couple of days, I'm like, where's Jimmy? I need to talk to Jimmy. And same with you. I mean, you texted me yesterday, hey, can I hear your voice? Because
I had been gone for 4 days at this conference, and I was like, I miss Brittany. I want to talk to Brittany.
Today, stupid Instagram. I was like, where's Jimmy's stories? I want to watch Jimmy's stories. They weren't popping up as they usually were. And apparently Instagram has made me unfollow Jimmy. This is a common problem now. But
well, they actually had, I was blocked by you because I was trying to tag you in something. I had literally just done something and saw you. And then I went to tag you, and I couldn't find Becoming.Brittany Lee on the list of, and I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized, I went over to the One Step Deeper page, and there you were. I was like, am I blocked? Did my best friend block me? So I like texted you, am I blocked? And then I showed you Becoming.Brittany Lee, can't find. And you went, oh my God, you're blocked. I didn't do it. I'm like, it's cool. It's cool. Instagram's doing weird things right now.
It happened again. But going back to that, like, the connection, that is part of physical health. There's so much more. I know you probably saw the title and you think, oh, Jimmy and I are going to talk about getting in the gym. And yes, that is definitely part of it. Like, I get something else out of a workout when I drive to the gym. I do. I do home workouts. They're wonderful. They're great. I walk outside. I run outside. I have different areas that I do, but there's something about going to the gym, putting in my headphones, not worry about anybody else around me, and just going. Like, there's something there. But it's not just about the gym. It's not just about working out at home. It's so much more. It's just this interconnected web of all the things. And yes, don't get overwhelmed by how much is involved here. But it gives you a long list of, okay, this week I want to work on this thing. Next week I'm going to work on this thing. Instead of going, I have 25 things and I must do them all perfectly right now. Like,
Well, look in your mental journey to kind of working on personal development. You don't do all the things at the same time either. So like, look at it and approach it the same way. It's like, okay, what is one new habit that I could add into my life mentally and physically? This could be a good way, guys. If you're not working on either one, not shame on you, but work on at least one or the other. I would recommend both. But if you're not working on any of them, just choose one mental and one physical that you're going to commit to do this week. Now, that's not hard. 1 and 1. I'm going to pursue making sure that I'm getting an ample amount of sleep this week, and I'm going to go out on a half-hour walk. So you make those 2 things your goals, and then next week you do it again. But you keep those same ones, but then you do it again by adding a new mental and a new physical, and it will cascade. Whereas in 2 months from now, you're doing 8 brand new physical and brand new mental things that you weren't doing 2 months prior. You can't help but see massive changes mentally, physically, and they fit into each other. Like that walk is going to make your sleep be better. And so then the sleep is better. So then you feel better to want to walk and maybe walk further. That's how this personal development journey works.
Absolutely. And that's why I love the 75 hard program. And people, who are interested, Andy Frisella, 75 hard. It's amazing. I've had such a difference. But when I very first started, I was like, all I'm doing is the 75 days. I got a little further and I was like, I think I could do phase 1. I could do phase 1 because phase 1 is exactly the same, but it adds 3 new things. It adds in a cold shower every day, 10 minutes of meditation or visualization, and it adds in 3 more power tasks. I was like, I could do that. No big deal. And then I looked at phase 2, and it's just 75 hard all again. I was like, I can do phase 2. Yeah, no problem. I can do that. And then I got to phase 3, and that was the most daunting for me because it's everything in 75 hard, phase 1, and then you have to do 3 more tasks. But I love how Andy did this where you've already done these things. You've already made it a habit. Just add these in. And then once those are a habit, then add these things in. And so I love how it goes together. And, recently I decided, hey, I'm doing 75 hard, phase 1, phase 2. Brittany doing phase 3. We doing phase 3. We're going to do the whole program because that's just how it works. And so I love what you're saying. Just add in a little bit every week.
Well, and look, it applies in every area of life. If you had told me when I first started podcasting that I would need to do multiple podcasts a week across different platforms on different topics, what I'm doing today, I've got 4 podcasts I do every single week. And people are like, how do you do it? I'm like, I didn't start with 4. I started with 1, and I got 1 pretty damn good. And then the 1 became, I needed to do 2 of that same 1. And so I still do 2 of the Living La Vida Low Carb show. And then, this topic sounds fun. Let's do a podcast on this and this and this. And not all of them worked. Some of them kind of went by the wayside. In fact, One Step Deeper replaced another show I was doing because I needed a new challenge. I wanted that. But I didn't just jump to 4 podcasts a week. I would not be ready. You don't jump to deadlifting 300 pounds. You work your way up to it, unless you like hurting your back. You work your way up to it, right? And so that's part of this journey is don't feel like that you're on this personal development journey and you've got to do it all in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. This is going to be a lifelong habit that you're putting yourself into. I'm turning 50 in a few months. I want to turn 80 and be like, yeah, cold shower, ice bath, feel good still. Yeah. Like, I'm going to see myself as being that guy.
I cannot wait until our book comes out. I'm so ready because it will kind of platform this whole idea of don't do it all at once. Just a little bit. Just piece it off every single day, a little bit every single day. And before you know it, you look back and you go, oh my gosh, it's been 4 years. And that's what I love about it. And I was even talking about it in my stories today. It kind of gets boring it kind of gets boring because you do the same thing over and over and every day. But it also becomes this routine of this is just my life. It's no longer something that you have to, here it is. 75 hard isn't hard anymore for me.
Yeah.
It's not hard anymore. I'm on day 66. I've done how many workouts now? 100 and some workouts in 66 days. Like, it's not hard anymore. It's just a part of applying myself. And so when I do phase 1, I'm adding in 3 more things. Yeah, that'll be a little bit more difficult until it's not. And so that's where it is, just this progressive overload even, that's a fitness term there for you, but in personal development, it's the same way. You just add a little bit more and a little bit more. You pull out that box in your brain that you're scared to touch. You pull out the trauma box and you do a little bit of work. You're like, oh, okay, that's enough. Put it back for later. And that's just how it goes. And I love what happens through this journey of when you begin to treat your body with respect. And this pulls it back to why physical health matters in personal development. When you begin to treat your body with respect, it becomes a lot easier for you to treat your mind with respect. Boundaries were already the name of the game for me before 75 hard, but now I'm just like, I love you, best friend. I got a workout to go to. I love you, Dad. I'm here for you. I got a workout to go get to. And it gives me that boundary of I'm going to take care of myself no matter what. I'm going to show up for me and develop me no matter what, because when I do that, then I can show up for other people instead of pouring myself out and pouring myself out and pouring myself out till I'm empty. Like, my cup has stayed completely full during this whole process, taking care of my physical
Real
health.
Good Foods is one of the fastest growing frozen food companies in the U.S. Everything they make is nutrient dense, high in protein, low in carbs, and made from real food ingredients. They make food for every occasion: breakfast sandwiches, poppers, enchiladas, entrees, and pizza. So whether you're on a keto diet, trying to cut back on your carbs, or just trying to eat healthier, they make super convenient and tasty options. RealGoodFoods.com and at Real Good Foods on social media.
And all the while going through some pretty tough situations. Like, had you gone through 1 or 2 of the things you've been through, I'd have been like, okay, yeah, you kind of overcame. But you've gone through at least 8 or 9 things that I know about. And like, your refrigerator was down for a week. I could go through all the things, but like, you handled it like a champ. Like, I tell you this often off the air, but I'm super proud of how you've proven to yourself you can do something for your physical health. But I'm not surprised, because I know the work you've put in on your personal development journey here, and that there's probably nobody I know tougher in this world, you guys, mentally, than Brittany Davis. Like, you are one of the strongest people mentally I've ever met. Again, you have your moments and we talk it out. And you talk it out with your husband when you really need that kind of boost. But at the end of the day, it's in you. You just have a moment. But like, those moments are few and far between. And you've proven to yourself in this journey, my physical health is worth it. My mental health is worth it. And I'm going to marry those two. And I think you have. I think you completely married those two, that you're unstoppable.
Thank you. Of course, you do this on the air where I'm just like, oh God, it's a compliment. Wait a minute. I can do
it. You said thank you, so I'll take that.
I'm still, okay, if there was something on my personal development list, is learn how to take a compliment. I am very bad at that. I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm like.
She keeps telling herself she's bad at it, but you just did it. You said thank you, and it was well received.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I wrote this down too, talking about like working out. What does it take to dedicate yourself in a workout? 30 minutes, that's fine. If that's all you can do, if all you can physically do is a 30-minute walk, okay, do that. Start somewhere. But even if it was an hour, dedicate an hour per day and take rest days, please. You don't have to do 75 hard, okay? Let me tell you, I'm wanting some rest days. My body is tired. But 1 hour of your day is like 4% of your day. Do you have 4% to dedicate to yourself? And like, even if you say, okay, I'm going to dedicate 1 hour a day to physical health, that means whether I'm going to meditate or move my body or whatever that is, that's 4% of your day, like it really kind of slapped me in the face when I realized that. I was like, yeah, I think I can do that. I think I can dedicate that much time to yourself. And again, personal development, it matters. And listen, too, we've talked about lifting, we've talked about walking, but there's so many different ways to move your body. You can walk, you can lift, you can jog, you can run, you can yoga, Zumba, stair climber, gym machines, bands, dance. Just Dance is one of my favorite ways to get in like some really good cardio. Turn on Just Dance with the kids and we're dancing up. They don't even realize that we're exercising. And before you know it, I look down and I burn like 500 calories just dancing with my kids. Like there's so many different ways that you can move your body. If going to the gym doesn't make you happy like it makes me, if lifting heavy shit doesn't make you happy like it makes me, that's okay. Move your body in whatever way makes you happy, or whatever way that you physically can. We've told the story. When my back was injured, I laid on the floor and pushed dumbbells above my head because that's all I could physically do. But I still chose to take care of my physical health because it matters in this process.
The option of doing nothing with your physical health means you've given up on your personal health journey, your personal development journey. You have. And I hope that's what we're underscoring here today, that if you want to work on developing and being a better human and all the things, the reason why you're kind of working on your personal development, you have to look at this physical aspect of things. And I'm in the diet and health world and I talk about this a lot, but I also try to be an example. So what I'm doing with my Staybattical to 50 is totally trying to say, all right, guys, I'm trying to walk the walk of the talk that I say. And it's hard for you to say you're working on yourself personally if you're not, working on yourself personally. and that's in all the ways. Like I've tried to be a kinder, more compassionate human. You've helped me with like understanding of maybe some prior beliefs that I had and then reframing those into beliefs of what I really believe. And that's been helpful. And so that mindset put me in the position where this physical journey is now a lot. I even hate to use the word easier because I don't want people to think it's not been a challenge. It's been a challenge. 75 been a challenge, but you're in the position where you're set up to succeed. And it's because you've worked on this aspect of things that physical health actually just naturally, you crave it. You crave it now. I know you do. So do I. When I get out there in the mornings and it's 7 a.m. Today, it was pouring down rain, had my umbrella and my phone. I was live on Instagram, but it was because I crave it. I want that walk. I want that connection with those people that watch me every day. That's what drives me now. Whereas if I just is like, I'm good up here, I don't really need to work on the physical. And then a year or two down the road, that physical starts manifesting as mood changes, as aches and pains, as other things that will impact my mental. I'll be like, I wish I had, instead of I'm glad I did.
I love that. You have to change that I wish I had to I'm glad I did. I wish I would have started earlier, but I'm glad I started when I did. I am. And how'd you like that rain? Do you have the same reaction that I have when the rain comes in?
I love the rain. It's just my followers are so used to me going live on Instagram, so I have to protect my camera because I don't want it to be waterlogged. So I had today to hold the umbrella while this, and it's like, so yeah, hi guys, and but yes, no, I love the weather and it's getting cooler. And so like I saw later in the week, it's going to be like upper 40s in the mornings. I'm like, yeah, I love the cold.
It'd be so cold. I need to go get different workout clothes. But I love the rain. It's one of those things where people are like, oh, I don't want to work out in bad weather. And I'm just like, give it to me. Let me have it. Because at the end of it, when I'm soaking wet and I'm standing on my front porch, I'm like, yeah, I'm a badass. When all the cars are driving by and they're like, that girl is crazy, I'm like, nah, that girl dedicated. Say something.
Oh, today I was dancing around the cars flying by on this main street. I go on this little trail, but there's a long part of the trail that's right parallel to a very busy street. And so I could see the puddles along the sides of the, and they were flying by. And I'm like, I was talking to the people on Instagram. I'm like, I'm going to get drenched by one of these cars driving by, all the water. And I watched it. I was like 5 seconds behind where it happened. Somebody drove by and and 5 seconds later, I would have been right there. So
I almost moved towards it. I'm like, do it, just do it, just do
again,
it.
if I didn't have the phone in my hand, I'd have been like, come on, breathe it in. But yeah, see, I care more about my inanimate object than I do my body. But no, the rain, it's wonderful. If you haven't tried it, guys, go play out in the rain. It's fun.
Yeah, but that's all part of it. When you're doing the physical health, there becomes a part where you crave it. Like you said, I crave moving my body, and I've been sick for the last couple of days, and I've been pissed. Like, damn, I just started going back to the gym. I just want to feel good so I can move my body, man. Because when you start to marry the two, unfortunately, when you start to marry the two, they kind of overlap. And so when you don't get that outlet of going to the gym or moving your body, you're like, wait a minute, I got to figure out how to do this mental thing without that. How do I do this? Because they begin to overlap, especially because I've been craving the difficult things. I crave, I used to could lift this much. I used to could leg press this much. How much can I do now? I used to could run this fast. How fast can I run now? And I start asking those questions and pushing myself. So when my body says, no, we're sick, and, I can't do a 10-minute mile right now. I know I cannot. I physically cannot do that right now. It's a little like, but why not? Why not? And so you have to, part of that mental toughness of learning how to not give up when you can't push your hardest, when you can't go 100 miles an hour.
Well, one thing that you've done that I have admired watching go through is you have had moments where you can't physically move like you want to move, as you've stated. And I remember one day you were like, well, I can't go lift weights, but I sure can read 200 pages of a book. And so you shifted that energy that would have been put in. Yes, look at all the books she's read, guys. She has literally read all of and you got a few more in your quiver before you're done. But yeah. But like, you've done it. You've modified that when those days when the physical body isn't allowing you to develop and personally develop like you want to, you shift over to the other side. This is the fun part, guys. You've got an emotional energy and health that you can work on. You've got a physical health you can work on as part of your personal development journey. You've got a lot of different legs to this. So don't think, well, I can't do the physical health, so I will do nothing. No, can't do the physical health. Work on your psychological and emotional health. Work on your relationship health. Work on this, work on that. Don't settle for, because you are restricted from doing one, that you can't do anything else. And this is kind of what we're saying here today of, okay, maybe you're struggling a little bit mentally. Go do something physically for your health and watch what happens to that mental and emotional thing. It gets better. There's endorphins released. They talk about the runner's high. You've been out there running. You get that high and you're just like, I didn't feel like doing this, but hey, I'm glad I did now.
Yeah. So Jimmy probably thinks I'm weird, and probably so does everybody else. But when I'm running, I think about nothing. It is the only time that my brain shuts off and I'm just running. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but
what's
maybe
that? Yeah, what's that like? Because I'm always thinking, like, that's why meditation's very hard for me, because even in the midst of the meditation, you're getting very sleepy. Close your eyes. And I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do tomorrow? Because I got a podcast to do tomorrow. I got all these thoughts flying through my head. I can't make my brain stop.
Yes. Well, I used to couldn't either. And so when I found running and I found this place where there was nothing, I was like, whoa, I just want that all the time. Okay. But my body doesn't let me run all the time right now. So that's not really an option. But when I walk, however, let's say I'm going to tell myself a little bit. So I don't even know if you know this. The day that I started 75 Hard, I was mad at Jimmy. I was mad at Jimmy, and I needed to process that, and I went for a walk. I went for an hour and a half long walk. I was very upset, but I needed to walk so I could process. I had to process, and I was so upset because I couldn't deal with this. I did another workout, and I had drank all the water, and I had, done all the things that I had read, because I was like, I couldn't face this yet. So I was trying to do all these things before I knew it. I was like, wait a minute, I started 75 hard. Okay. And obviously Jimmy and I are fine. It was all worked out by the next day, but it was just kind of one of those things where, what?
I said, we've had 2 other tiffs since then. Like, look, your friends, you're going to get on each other's nerves from time to time, or say something stupid or interpret something stupid. It happens. I still love you to death. You love me to death. At the end of the day, we get through it. But by the way, you're welcome for getting you to start 75 hard. See, my devious evil plan worked. Mwah.
I just love how you had pointed out that if you can't work on one area, that's okay. Go work on another area. That's quite literally what started 75 hard for me. It had been a shit week, okay? I had problems with Jimmy. I had problems with my mom, with my dad, with my husband, with my kids. Everything was wrong. And I was like, I cannot mentally face all of this crap right now. I'm going outside to go for a walk. I am going and I'm getting out of here. And it just so happened to start 75 hard. And when I felt so good after one day, I was like, I think I'll keep doing this. I think I'll do this.
And it just so happened that the end of 75 was going to be your anniversary trip. So it was perfect timing. But I'm glad to hear I had indirectly a small role in you starting 75 hard.
I didn't think I had told you that yet. I was so upset. I was like, I just need to go for a walk.
We've had a few little skirmishes here and there. And again, if you're friends, you're gonna have those. If you don't, you're weird. If you don't, you're not being honest with each other. Like Brittany and I are super honest with one another about everything. And so if I say something and she takes it a wrong way, or vice versa, we're gonna have those moments, but we work through them.
Yeah, and that's part of our mission.
We still come here every week. So I don't think if I was mad at her or vice versa, we could bring the kind of shows that we do for you guys. I think there was only one episode, I'm not going to tell them which one episode where I was kind of mad at you. It was pretty obvious to me. To us, but maybe the people didn't pay it. It's been a while ago, so.
But that's all part of this,
Yes.
It's part of this personal development. You're going to have these things. You're going to run into this relationship problems. You're going to run into problems with your spouse or your partner, with your coworkers. You're going to, but it's all part of personal development and learning to set boundaries and take care of your physical body and take care of your mental health. It is a lot. I know. It's a lot to take care of. But when you're focusing on your personal development and in part of that, your physical health, like it forces you out of your comfort zone. And that's where the magic happens, when you're outside of your comfort zone and you're learning to lead yourself. And then self-reflection, which is basically just a fancy way of saying ask yourself questions. But self-reflection is how I've gotten to where I am. Within physical health, I'm like, okay, I ran a 10-minute mile last week. What can I do now? That's the question I ask myself. But self-reflection with mental things as well. This has been a really hard week, and I've had to multiple times ask myself, and probably gotten on Jimmy's nerves, where I'm like, are you okay, Brittany? And I answer the question. I'm like, I'm okay right now, but if I don't go away for a couple of hours, I'm not going to be okay. And so I'll snap, turn my phone off, I'll recover. And that's all part of that self-reflection, where I'm asking myself the question, hey, you okay? Just doing that self check-in. And when I'm like, yes, but as soon as I have that but, I'm like, all right, we're going away. We're going to take care of ourselves. 9 days from now, I already told Jimmy, I'm probably checking out from my phone. I might post some pictures, but I ain't checking nothing. I am just checked all the way out. Just me, a wild man, doing our thing. That's what we're going to do. But like, excuse me. All of this helps you look for opportunities too. I wanted to tell the story. When I was out on one of my walks, one of the things you do for phase 3 of 75 hard is you do a random act of kindness every single day. Well, I knew this, and this one thing was what got me, all right, I'm doing phase 3 when it comes around. I was on my walk. I was taking care of my physical health. I was on a walk, so I was thinking about mental things too, and I happened upon this pile of trash just in the middle of the road. And I started to walk past it, and I did. And it was just eating at me. And I was like, I have to pick this up. Like, I have to. Other people had drove by it. Other people had walked by it. And I was like, I can't walk past this. And it was part of physical and mental all at one time that I like checked myself, and I just went and picked it up. And when you're on this journey of personal development, you notice those things and you find these opportunities to be there for other people. And when you've checked in with yourself and you're taking care of yourself, it's a lot easier to do those random things, or to be there for other people, or to answer that phone call from your friend who's falling apart. It's so much easier to do that than, why are they calling me right now? I got my own stuff to worry about, instead of getting upset. Like, you're constantly taking care of yourself, and that gives you the ability to be there for other people.
Look, the whole point of personal development is to make yourself into a better human. So I'm not surprised that you've done the mental work, you're in the midst of the physical journey, and you've gotten in a good groove, that you would walk by a pile of trash and go, I'm going to go pick that up. Like, you're a better human, which you've never been a bad human. I adored your friend because you're a good human, because you have good heart. I had to learn your little idiosyncrasies and vice versa. You learned mine. You called out a few that was like, is that who you really are? Are you sure? Are you sure? And then you maybe contemplate, and I'd make you contemplate on a few things that you do too. And it's what's made our friendship so good. But I just think we need to get people on a journey of any kind towards personal development. I think this whole idea that you talk about a lot on your own Instagram page and other places, it's so foreign to people. They're not on any journey right now. So to say that physical health is a big part of your personal development journey, guys, just get on a journey. Start, like we said earlier, with that 1-in-1, something physical, something emotional, go. And then it cascades and it develops. And if you need to elongate it and maybe work on one thing a couple weeks before you add something new, that's fine. There's no parameters. There's no timetable. It's all on you to do something, because doing nothing is not an option. Doing nothing, I'm not saying makes you a bad human, but you can't experience what the fullness of a good human is until you do these things to work on yourself.
Yes, I think about someone really close in my life that kind of had one of those slap you in the face moments. And I pretty much told them, are you ready? Are you ready for personal development now? Are you ready to stop kind of joking around about what I talk about and what I've talked about for the last 3 years? Are you kind of ready for that? And it's been such a cool journey to watch them go, there might be something to that. And I'm like, I wonder why. I wonder who told you to do those things. But yeah, just get on any journey, absolutely anything, of moving yourself towards better, whatever that equals, 1% better every single day. Maybe you've never read a personal development book in your life. Pick one up. It's not go to a secondhand store. You ain't got to spend a bunch of money. I'm not gonna lie, I've spent quite a bit of money on the stack of books right here.
Go to the library. They got a ton of books there.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, your journey doesn't have to cost you money. It doesn't have to cost you anything, but maybe a little bit of your time, but it's going to give so much more back.
It will cost you time and it will cost you effort, but the investment that you put in with both of those things will be redeemed on the backside. Look, I'm turning 50 in a few months here. I know that the things I'm doing right now are going to give me great dividends on the other side of 50 for many years to come, hopefully decades to come. At this conference I was at, Dave Asprey was like, all right, so I want to live to at least 108 years old. So who else is with me? He was just like this whole idea of putting yourself in a good spot. And of course, he's doing all kinds of little biohacks, mental, physical, all kinds of things all the time to help with that. And I love, by the way, that Andy incorporates the cold showers and the meditation and all the things that a lot of the things that, like what I'm doing right now, it's kind of cool. So I'm anxious to see how you respond to some of those physical changes that then continues to develop the mental. Like, I'm so chill right now with all the things that I'm doing. It's kind of hard to be worked up and stressed when you're doing all these things that put your body in a better place. And I don't know if you've noticed, because you haven't had access to my Instagram, I'm sleeping longer. I slept for 8 or 9 hours last night. The night before was like 8 hours. I'm starting to get longer sleep, and I think my body is like, all right, you gave us the physical stimuli that we needed to now make you a little more tired to sleep more. And my sleep score has been over 90 the last couple of days. Like, I'm doing really well in that. And I thought you'd find that interesting, that a lot of these physical changes are now starting to manifest as better rest, which helps with this, which helps with all of it.
Yeah, the recovery time within sleep. Yeah, I've been sick, so my sleep's been pretty crappy the past couple of days. But when I was getting up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym, by the time it was 8:30, I'm like, girl, I'm checking out. I'm tired. I am ready for bed.
And 2 a.m. one of those days.
Yeah, I did have to get up at 2 a.m. one of those days. I was real tired. I went home and took a nap. I was so tired.
Yeah. You called me, and then I was like, go to bed. So.
Yes. But I've been getting so much REM sleep, and that's good for your memory, and then so much deep sleep, which is good for recovery. Like, I've been getting more quality sleep outside of the sickness, more quality sleep with out. So even if I'm not sleeping as long, I'm getting more recovery, which is, again, recovery. That's part of that physical health too.
So guys, here in episode 41, I hope you got it, that physical health is just as much a part of your personal development journey. But like, do something. Like, I have a feeling that most people aren't doing either one, mental or physical, right now. So just start. Hopefully this is the kick in the butt you needed, that once you start one or the other, you're going to find you're going to need the other one to make it all work. So do that one little thing that I talked about, and I think you'll see pretty cool results. So end the show for us, sweetie.
Thank you guys for being here. And yes, just as Jimmy said, just start somewhere, start something. And if you need help with that, seriously, message Jimmy or me. Like, we love to hear from you guys on Instagram, Living Low Carb Man and Becoming.Brittany Lee. We love to hear from you there. But OneStepDeeperPodcast.com, you can find all the past episodes there. Every week on Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the episodes go up on YouTube. That's the first place you can find it. Jimmy also posts them on the Facebook page, on the One Step Deeper Podcast Facebook community there, and then over on Instagram, episodes go up there as well, and on his personal page. I love to post the tidbits. We put those out on usually Friday or Saturday. They go out before we air the episodes on Sunday, and those are on my page and Jimmy's page, and that's just like a little 15-minute tidbit of just a little snippet that I love those so much. Just kind of whet your appetite for the rest of the podcast there. And then we are a regular podcast, so all the places that you find podcasts, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, ALEXA, you can listen to us there and leave us a review. We love to hear from you guys. Again, our personal Instagram page as well, but over on Apple, leave us a review on Apple. That's how we grow as a podcast. And yeah, apparently we're goated, so that's great. But but give us some more reviews. Thanks, guys.
Yes. So guys, thank you so much. We have a lot more episodes coming up for the rest of October and November. We are taking December off. We decided that yesterday. People are kind of traveling, doing the holiday thing. But we'll come back strong in the new year. And then shortly after we're back in the new year, you and I have that book coming out. One Step Deeper Journal is coming. It's coming along. It's just books are just this little precarious thing you have to kind of nurture across the finish line to get finished. And so we're there. It's not Brittany's fault. It's all Jimmy right now. Brittany is doing her part, but excited to share that. But we'll see you guys again next week.
OneStepDeeperPodcast.com.
Buddy, I gotta tell y'all about something. This fancy little drink right here. This only has 3 ingredients: water, ice, and element. I'm so excited to be partnered with Element right now for the One Step Deeper podcast. Oh my gosh, let me tell you. Look at all these gorgeous electrolytes. They have so many delicious flavors, but my absolute favorite, and the one you saw me sipping on, was the citrus one, because let me tell you, it's like sipping on a margarita. So good. So if you're interested in trying these amazing electrolytes for yourself, you can go to drinklmnt.com/Jimmy for your free sample there. No, seriously, it's a free sample. All you have to do is pay the shipping. You got to try these. I'm telling you. So good.